Hi ladies and germs, it's Leathur Rokk and I'm live and I was not planning on doing this. But you know, my phone is giving me problems saying that I have no more room to film, and it says to check in settings and look for things to delete, and there's no way there's any footage to delete that it wasn't junk that wasn't already deleted, okay? And furthermore, according to the phone itself, I've only used 25 or 35 gigabytes, and I have a storage total of 256 gigabytes available. But the phone app on this says that I am full. So, what does this mean? Does this mean I need to order another one of these junk, cheapo little phones? Does this mean I need to just do most of my filming in studio with the other laptop? What? I mean, I can't carry the laptop outside, but one of the things that really irks me is I just finished doing a cooking segment about a new food that we discovered, and I want to talk to you about it. Now, it is a food from Goya called white corn Arepitas. And these, basically, they look like little sugar-covered donuts. They're squashed, okay? And I found 2 packages of them. I figured, I had no idea what to do with them. They didn't seem like they didn't have cheese in them when I looked at the ingredients. I figured, okay, let's see what they're like. And I already made them for my mom once. And, well, first of all, I showed you a Spanish-speaking friend, Jose. And he thought that they were some kind of cookies, but there was no sugar in the ingredients. This is just white corn. So I fried them up, and my mom thought that they tasted like cornmeal, or no, like potato fritters. Gothic bacon, good morning. No, they're not cookies. They are made of corn. And, all right, here's what we're going to do. Well, first of all, I got to get a plate. Plate. See, there was a bunch of things I was going to do. I was trying to make a separate video, and I just finished frying up some of these, and I was going to drain the oil into a heat-safe container so that I could just use a little bit of oil left, because I was going to saute some mushrooms, okay? But, all right, well, we're doing this. This is cooled off to a certain degree, so I'll do this here. I'll do this live. Daniel, hello from Delaware, watching from the gym exercising. And I'm dealing with cooking. That's hold that tiger. Hold that tiger. I gotta tell Mom you're here. Hey, Mom, I'm live streaming. Tiger's on. Yeah. My mom said, yay! So, okay, this is a cooled off, mostly wok. And this is the oil that I had just fried those arepitas. Okay, now, oil, you want to make sure it doesn't catch fire, right? We don't want that. And I gotta find something. Hold on, you're gonna need this. Here. I always like to wipe the edges of any kind of frying pans or anything. 1666, good morning. My phone is telling me it's used up and I can't film anymore on it. So that's why I'm live streaming. It interrupted a cooking video. I was frying these up for my mom, okay? I was going to making a video about this new thing I discovered called white corn. Arepitas, Arepitas. But now I drained off most of the oil. Now, set these aside. This is the packaging those came in, by the way. These are a product of Honduras. This is definitely a new thing for me culturally. I don't speak the language, but you know, if you got good food, I'm all for that, right? So I have pre-sliced some white mushrooms, and I'm going to put the fire on. I took the plastic off that said what kind of mushrooms they are. I don't know if they're criminy or they're button mushrooms, but watching from the gym, exercising. Oh man, you know, I kind of was bad this year. I was eating too much junk, too many pies, too many cakes, you know, cherry pies, pumpkin pies, eating them. And these little tiny pies, I'm sorry, if a pie is this little, it's single serve. It's not little. This is single serve. This is. And even if you do the little tiny slivers of it, you take a little sliver, you take a little sliver, and you take a little sliver, and then guess what? You end up eating the whole thing. Okay, usually I was just setting things a few at a time. But you know what? Just putting it in. Tilt this. I'm wearing long sleeves so I don't spatter myself. You know, when my mom got out of the nursing home, I promised myself I was going to spoil her rotten, cook for her any fancy meal she wants. If I know how to make it, I can learn. You know, with the internet, you can learn how to cook anything. With things like Amazon and Walmart.com and stuff, and all these ethnic grocery stores, you can learn to cook so much. You know, I still like to shop locally for foods. Unfortunately, COVID caused the loss of several supermarkets here that specialize in ethnic foods. Yeah, pies. And I wasn't getting as much exercise as I was when I was out and about so much, you know. It all started when the cops kicked me off the boardwalk with my guitar. It really did. Because I was out walking around a lot and stuff. And the thing is, I knew that there was a lot of times when I obviously can't be out because I'm dealing with my mom. But there were times when I couldn't be there. There were times when it was more useful to leave things to the professionals. Like there were times when she was in some of the hospitals when, you know, as a matter of fact, the last 4 times I played outside, it was a hospital stay she was doing. And I got 4 days out here, and the last day the cops got the supervisors, and they made it very clear that I was not allowed. And you want to know something? Fast forward to a couple days ago, I saw some guy with a guitar and a little amp on the other side of Tropicana. And you know what? That's certainly not a place I would have been allowed to play. And I was even told that even if I got the stupid license that they wanted, it's so expensive that you have to renew every single year. You're not allowed to play down here. You got to go clear up by resort. I'm sorry I didn't get more of these. Let me see. What else am I? Well, what she wants? Oops. Oh. Yeah, getting the plastic thing in there is not part of it. Alright. Sometimes these things aren't necessarily planned. Here, I don't know if you even saw all that, but I'm using the rest of this to reheat, to add protein. Because the one thing these corn things don't have is they don't have protein. Now I'm going to turn the fire off this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to try one of these on camera. I didn't add any spices to them. I think they need a bit of salt, honestly. Whoops. Oh my goodness. That is an awful lot of salt. You know what these would be good with? Any salsa, anything that you would stick tortilla chips in would be good with these. You know what? Maybe if I didn't fry them as long as I did, they'd be a little less crispy. And they can get hard. So my advice is don't let them get too dark. This is sliced mushroom, chicken breast, a few pieces of avocado, a slice or two of tomato, and I find that those soft things really complement the corn and don't overpower its delicate flavor. Matter of fact, I'm going to try some on top of it, kind of like an open-faced mushroom sandwich. They're kind of like French fries also, by the way. No, these are good. A lot of times I cook things, I'll just cook it for her and I'll go make myself the same thing or make her something else, depending on what it is and how much we have. Okay, there's some things I make her that I don't like, okay? But when we both like things, oh man. I was more thinking of her this morning. Okay, because I can eat any old time. I'm usually on a different schedule because if I know that the filming is going to be my content, then I'm not going to eat beforehand. You know, sometimes it takes me a bit of time to get ready too, so. I'm going to take the rest of the oil. I'm going to put it in this paper cup. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and I'm going to reuse it. You know what? This is hot. I'm going to protect my hand. I still think it needs a bit of salt. Now, knowing my mom, she might go and put ketchup on it or something. She has ketchup packets in there. She has mustard packets in there. Let's see. I do think. Whoops, that didn't happen. I'm going to protect this so it doesn't come out too much. And my mom loves black pepper. You know what? I'm going to shake a little bit of red pepper flakes. And Wilfred, good morning. Did you guys get to catch the footage of the hurricane? I caught some filming on the coast. I think I'm going to buy another one of these cheapo little phones because the camera's telling me that I've used it up already. And it's supposed to hold 256 gigabytes, and it says I've used up 35 gigabytes. I mean, because I got it so cheap, I can get a bunch more that are like that. So just so that I have something that I can film with, because you know, there is something to be said for having something that's portable and has a good camera and you can whip out whenever, you know? Oh, asking myself what I was looking for. I love black peppers and all different kind of grounds. I prefer a coarser ground myself, but this is real fine ground. But I got in these real metal squarish containers, you know? And, but I put it into this, it's a black pepper shaker that I guess is kind of like a restaurant style. But I like it that it's easy to grab and, you know, I usually like a coarser grind. Now this is where I bring you guys along. Alright, now come along with me. Oh, I want to make sure she has a fork. Okay. Is anybody hungry?
Of course.
Is anybody hungry?
I am a huge fan of that. And I know.
I just got to, now I'm doing this live, I want you to know, because since...
Okay, I need a fork.
She needs a fork. Oh my goodness, did I call it or what? And this is, we got smart here. We have this container that's great just for this special cutlery that has those things that make larger handles so they're easier to the hole. And of course they're not here, which means they're in this. Oh, I have to be so careful where I step. Her walker will kill my feet. You know, it's a conspiracy. A major privilege, so yeah. I can't find the special one.
Well, I guess I'll have to do two when I'm out.
Alright, now, please stir it around some because I discovered that I only ate one and I could see where you thought that they tasted kind of like hash browns. I was thinking maybe French fries, kind of.
Well, they could have been browner.
Oh,
the browner they are, the better they are.
Okay, well, see, I was afraid they were getting harder and harder and harder.
No, that's the crispier they are.
Oh, so they're not too crispy? Okay,
no,
all right.
They taste wonderful.
Well, Wilfred says good morning and it looks tasty.
Good morning, whoever Wilfred is.
Wilfred, yeah, he's new.
Got mushrooms.
Yes, that's right. I sliced. He had these big cremini mushrooms and chicken. I set it aside from that. Yeah.
Chicken mushrooms.
And
whatever these are,
the avocado.
We have no idea.
These 2 big pieces.
Nobody can seem to tell us what they are.
Yeah.
We read that the writing on the packaging was.
We're new to this.
I don't know what language was on the.
Well, it says from Honduras, so I'm
really?
guessing Spanish. But there's so much variety in the world, all these different cultures, and you can't know about them all. But I can eat them all.
Wow.
What?
They're cold in the middle.
What? Oh, that isn't the one that I fried. That's the one I just put in. Well, others are. She said they're cold. You know how I've been frying these. Oh, no, you wouldn't know because I was filming this video and all of a sudden the camera shut off. You can't win. Well,
No, just telling you that one.
okay, it was just that one because I was frying them to death. You know.
Okay, I eat in peace.
Oh, okay. Well, she wants to eat in peace. All right. Well, you know what? I'm taking one of these. No,
Okay.
is that? Okay, that's one.
See how good they are?
Like well done, well baked French fries. And yet she said they should have been fried longer. They would have been miniature hockey pucks. And she's doing much better. You know, they discharged her from the nursing home 3 days after I got out of the hospital with pneumonia. I was tired, I was sick, I was coughing, I was not doing great. Oh, and I'd also hit my toe the week before, and I thought I'd broken it. So I was not very mobile. But with Mom home, I had to cook for her and I had to do things and stuff. But the thing is, she got physical therapy at the nursing home. That's why she was there. She had to learn how to do the things that we all take for granted, like walking down the hall, feeding yourself, bathing, going to the bathroom, all that stuff, you know. She'd been in the hospital so long, she'd lost a lot of muscle strength. And she was bedridden. She had to learn how to, you know, she had to learn how to climb our stairs. And now, last night, yesterday afternoon, we actually had a physical therapist stop by and was with her for a month, or not a month, excuse me, for an hour. And they sounded like they had a really good session. I stayed out of their way. You know, there's never a shortage of housework and stuff to do around here, so I let them do their thing. So, until I get this camera sorted out, looks like I'm going to be doing a lot of live streaming with it. And just filming with my laptop in there. Maybe I'll shop for another cheap cell phone so I can always have something. Because you gotta have things that you can carry around, you know. See, this camera, this phone doesn't say anything about having expandable storage. If it does, I have a terabyte chip I could stick in. For the price I paid, I don't know if I'm going to get a phone with a feature like that, though. That was good. I apparently didn't allow enough time for the chew to warm up when I add it to everything else. Oh. Let's see. So I guess maybe today I'll go back on Temu.com and I will look at cell phones again. And I'll see about getting something else with a really good camera and at least the 256. Shaughness McGlade, good afternoon. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If your N was an M, I would have said Seamus. No, if it was Seamus, I would have said Seamus, because I knew an Un by the name of that. Oh, hey Sean. I hope you're having a good day. I am. Just cooked my mom breakfast/lunch. And actually, you know, this phone, I can't tell what time it is when I'm live streaming, but I'm now in my home studio room, and this is my actual computer here. And the computer always says the time on the right-hand side and the date on the right-hand side also. So if I'm ever stuck on stupid because I'm doing daily content and stuff and I'm not sure what day it is, it's right there. Yeah. But I was just given an error message with this phone, the cell phone, saying that I've used up all the storage room on it. And the thing is, I've only used 35 gigabytes. I think she did. Yeah. She was very happy whatever those corn things are, and a little bit of chicken and those sliced mushrooms and a little bit of avocado, and it was really it was good. She wasn't getting the best of meals when she was at the nursing home. They would give her these menus that look good on paper, but they'd forget to cook the vegetables, or they forgot to bring in the coffee. 3 days in a row, they forgot to give her coffee. How do you do that? I mean, coffee's kind of important. Yeah, a mini SD card. If this had this expandable thing, it looks like it has something, and there's a tiny little hole in it, but I think that's for a SIM card if you're getting a data plan. And the thing is, I have a family landline, so I see, sometimes people get on my case for not wanting to pay for things, but it's like the whole part of living a frugal lifestyle is looking for where you can economize as much as possible. If people are going to be mad at me because I'm doing things to save money so that I can have a quality of life and spend precious time with my mom, I'm going to do that. But now, I don't know if this has a thing for that or if that's just for a SIM card. I finally got around to looking at most of the instructions. And I'm going to say looking at, and I said most of, because the instructions are in the tiniest micron script that even with reading glasses, you're still struggling. But I'm trying to give my mom nutritious meals. She's a heart patient. I want to spoil her. If I have access to good food, and plus the fact is I enjoy cooking, especially if it's stuff I like to eat. I like cooking. When it was just me, when I was visiting mom in nursing homes and hospitals and stuff, I was just shoveling whatever in me. If friends would come over, then I would have a reason to make something. But then again, if friends are coming over, I'm not going to leave them unattended in my bedroom. I'm going to, unless they're just coming in my kitchen, because cooking, I like to cook for a crowd, but I like to have an audience, But, with my mom back, I can give her my undivided attention. I don't have any living cats right now. Nothing besides YouTube is taking my attention, And I know also that I'm making memories and I'm going to appreciate this time with my mom. And I've been, I never used to have friends over here. Some of it was I was ashamed of them seeing living conditions, and some of it was also that I really do like my privacy, even though I seem like I'm a public person, because why would I put it out there in the world if I was all that private, right? But still, once people get in your space, sometimes, like I had I had this really rude guy. I don't want to spoil it because I am going to make a standalone video about it, but he was visiting yesterday, and it was right after my mom's physical therapist was here. So fortunately, there was not too many people listening to him, but he was drunk and he was rude and he was verbally abusive and he was trying to, coming on to me and stuff in a very rude, dirty, pornographic way. And it's like, dude, keep your voice down. Because I had my door open specifically. First of all, my mom's door is open. I want to hear if she fell or something. Plus, if I have to scream because somebody's doing something terrible, I want everybody to hear. So yes, the door's open. And anyway, I tried to tell him that my mom could even hear him, and he was really having a foul mouth. And I don't just mean the language I use on YouTube. I mean, he was really being offensive. And if he thought if those were in any way terms of endearment that women like to hear, and it was not making him more attractive in my eyes. And I'm not attracted to him. And no, he's not the best out there. Oh my God. Of course I didn't say that, but Hemlock. Ooh, hemlock, yeah. Tea of that and no more problems. No. When I would go spend summers at my grandparents' house in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my grandma, she lived in an old farmhouse in the woods. And the aunts and uncles showed me what plants to avoid. And I learned about poison ivy, which, oh boy, that is nasty. You don't want that. But one of my aunts, she was impervious to it. It didn't make her out and stuff. It did me and everybody else. Oh, yeah. And I heard the stories about them making people go bye-bye in the days of the Roman Empire and stuff, the hemlock and stuff. So, and they showed me deadly nightshade and stuff. And then as I grew on to be interested in metaphysical things, and including, occult things and American Indian shamanism and stuff. Sometimes there's some herbalism involved, and you learn about the medicinal and occult uses of plants. And some plants that are even very, very dangerous still have uses. some people, but still, I am really very cautious. Like, for instance, there is a wonderful smelling, vanilla smelling thing. It's a bean that I think you can get it in Mexico. The thing is, you don't want to touch it because it can be dangerous for heart patients. So even though you can use it in incenses and in mixtures for different things, and I'm sure I have some somewhere in a jar somewhere, but I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's actually dangerous to the heart. And so since my mom's a heart patient, I make sure not to have those things. Tonka beans. Yes, don't hold tonka beans too much if you're a heart patient, and don't give it to somebody to sniff. I mean, it smells intoxicatingly wonderful. It's kind of like a cross between vanilla with a little bit of what's that almond liqueur? What was it, Frangelica or something? And you know what? And I haven't had a touch of alcohol in 20 years, so I shouldn't be talking about these references. But I still remember the smell, and yes, I remember the taste. You know, those things never leave you, no matter how long you've been sober. But a good smell is a good smell, regardless. But still, I'm trying to be careful about what I handle, because I don't really like to put rubber gloves on, except for things like hair dye and stuff. But if I have any kind of cuts on my hands, I have to be very careful about what I'm touching, because you do have to worry about the toxicity of things. Like, I would like to be gardening, do my green thumb thing, but they keep on walking dogs over in that garden. And somebody I saw with 2 dogs on his leashes, and they weren't just in the grassy area, they were climbing up over where people were growing things, you know? And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be growing onions if a dog is going to go and use it as his restroom, okay? You know, if we knew that they were only doing liquids, but you don't know that. And the people, a lot of times when they're being walked, they're not being observed and picked up when you pick them up. You know, I'm not observing that. If anybody does pick up after their dogs around here, I never see them actually doing it. You know, and people do have families and little kids are walking around here. And if you're walking around in flimsy shoes where it'd be easy to touch your foot to the ground and stuff, you know. But I've been meaning to go over there and do some tidying up around the cat's grave and stuff. Oh. Oh, okay. Good Hemlock is saying, I don't know what that language is. Is that Tagala? I watch a lot of cooking videos. There's a site that you get paid by how many ads show up on videos, and then they transfer, your counter goes up and you transfers it to like Amazon or whatever. And anyway, it's one of many income streams. But I guess I'm gonna have to get another cell phone. But I got this for so cheap, you know. And the thing is, the computer, I'll show you what the screen looks like. You see, it's really very, it's coming apart, the hinge. And it's a shame because it's a 1 terabyte drive. It has a 1 terabyte drive, and it has a 16 gigabyte RAM. So I'm able to, if I had a storyboard editor in there, I could piece things together and edit for there and everything. And you want a good terabyte. You know, I think a terabyte's important to have a lot of space for videos and stuff. But this cell phone's saying that I'm used up when the camera says I'm used up, but the phone itself inside doesn't. So I'm going to have a friend of mine who knows tech, have him look at it the next time he has a reason to be around. You know, I don't want to use his time, you know, if I could find out some other way, because I can't be without an at-will filming device, you know. I really kind of was liking being able to grab this. One thing I don't like is that it takes forever to charge. It takes like 3 hours to charge. and you're not supposed to overcharge it, right? So you unplug it when it hits 100%. But then while it's doing nothing, like even if I turn it off, because most of the stuff I'm doing on a laptop anyway. So I have it turned off and I have it just sitting around ready for me to go someplace. But I check to see how much power is, and it's gone down to like 80%. So I have to plug it into my computer to get it to creep it up so that when I go outside somewhere I have room, you know. Oh boy. So, but yeah, I am gonna have to get this thing sorted because I don't understand. I don't get a cell phone and find out 2 weeks later it's all filled up or whatever. It seems like I've had it not even 2 weeks. You know, I finally learned how to do the video and the film stuff. You know, I don't even have a bunch of apps on it. And there's things I've never tried yet, like WhatsApp. I was on the verge of using. If I find out that that's a way for people to send you tips when you're out busking or something. You see, that's the thing, is that the only people that I knew that were using it seemed to be scammers and stuff. But if it's really something that's useful, and if I don't need to have a bank account or something set up, I gotta learn about it first. But really, there's nothing. I didn't install anything special on this phone, and I was trying to see if there's anything already installed on it that I could delete. And I couldn't see anything offhand that seemed like it was useless. Anytime I looked at something and thought it was useless, it turned out that it might have been important for something. So, and I don't want to screw things up, obviously. So I'm going to have to maybe get some expert advice. Wanna see how my mom's doing? Oh, you know what? I think I forgot my own coffee. You know, I did. A little bit of coffee left. What do you think? I'm afraid if I cooked them longer, it would have been harder.
It's all right because the darker they are, the better they are.
Really? Is it too hard to chew? Is it okay? And it definitely needed salt. But once I put the other things together.
Plenty of salt.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
I must make too much.
Really? Oh, maybe it wasn't stirred enough. Remember the one time? Well, anyway. Well, I thought the mushrooms really made it.
Love slots? DraftKings Casino app's got you covered.
That's it.
That's it?
You can have the rest.
Okay, we see what I'm going to do.
Get a first day replay up to 1,000 in credits.
Tune into Action News Thursday at 4:30 for driving into the future.
But they have to be done in the middle.
What?
One of them wasn't done in the middle.
Well,
after you left, one more, it was not hot in the middle. And it wasn't as brown as the rest. They really need to be brown. The browner the better. Anyway, let's see.
I have most of the package left.
You're in the freezer, right?
No. I thought I was filming Nickum today, and well, I may have to get another cheap phone.
Another what?
Another cheap phone.
Good grief.
I called Dan and asked him what's up. Hope he has his magical powers of tech. He's like the only person I know that knows about this thing.
Okay, I'm done. Is there more coffee, I hope?
A little bit more. I can make more coffee. Can Mom please have some pants? Burger Boy.
Huh?
Burger Boy said, can Mom please have some pants?
Pants?
Pants. Tell him he was being rude.
Why? Why is he speaking to me anyway? Hello, Leather, I'm done. Mom doesn't intend to leave her room or visit people, so I don't know why people are in here. Hello.
Last week, an NFL executive said it had increased security at its offices in the
Don't
building.
bother me.
Police say the suspect seems
Those people aren't supposed to be here.
What?
Those people aren't supposed to be in my room anyway.
Mm. Around here, it is what it is. Like, I can try to come in there in advance and say, Mom, I'm going to come in here. Can we try to make things G-rated and wonderful? She gives me that look. It must be hot in there. But she doesn't have a fan on, though. See? I don't know if you could see. Adding some water to the coffee. Coffee grounds are actually down at the bottom. Because this is cowboy coffee that I run through the strainer. And when I wash my clothes in a basin, I let it drip dry here, and then when it's much drier, then I take it into my mom's room and finish drying that way. You see that I wash my hand, the small stuff, like the stockings and the garter belts and socks and things like that. Underwear, all that stuff. and all mom stuff. So let's come back into the.
Leather,
Yes.
I am trying to do my exercises.
Okay, hold on a second.
And
I have to hang this up.
Fine.
So.
But you don't have to bring your friends with you.
Yeah, I kind of have to because my hand's full. Okay. See? Hang up my clothes. I'm out of here. Say bye-bye.
I'm waiting for coffee or liquid.
Oh, she's waiting for coffee. Why? Is your See, she wants coffee. Oh. It's dripping. It's being made now. In 5 minutes, you'll have coffee.
Okay. So I need water.
She needs water. Of course she does. She drinks more water. I swear. I hear some talking. I don't want to go in there right now. Okay. Oh, cruising for booze. Oh, so the other person that lives here is going to be doing some kind of cruise. And you know what? I've got laundry to do. I've got dishes to wash. And I gotta let a friend know that I'm having problems with this phone now because I've got to always have something for filming. And if it means getting another cheap backup phone, because you gotta have filming. That's just the way it is. Oh, you know what I ended up doing with fried mushrooms I made the other night? I put them over a package of chicken ramen and they were really good. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna bring this back in my studio. Yeah. Well, this is what you guys know. Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking in about 5 minutes, coffee will be ready. Now, according to my computer, it's 75 degrees and sunny in Atlantic City. Now, I'm next to my window, so I'm exposing more of the window to bring more light from here. Now, this can't attach to the cell phone, but it is attached to my computer. And this thing is right in front of my computer, so There. I can put this wherever. Let's see, this says, Wilfred, thanks for keeping me company on my hike. I'm about to lose reception. Have a nice day. Be safe out there. Stay away from wild animals. You know, Mother Nature's good, but it's wild. You know. Oh boy. Yeah, I gotta do something about this phone. I don't understand why the camera itself says I can't take any more video, says it's used up, and yet, according to the settings, it says that I've only used up like 35 gigabytes, and I have 256 gigabytes. So, and I haven't found a tray that I could add an expandable mini SanDisk card, you know, because I certainly want to expand it. I mean, who wouldn't want to add an extra terabyte, you know? But, and I was just thinking about getting those, they have these 4 terabyte portable drives that you can back up channels and stuff with, and I was thinking of getting a few of those to use to back up my YouTube channel, especially things like live streams that you know you don't have a copy of in your equipment, so you want to download it. So in case the powers that be decide to censor something, you know, say they outlaw a certain color, and they say, oh, every time you wear that, we're going to just take it down. And they don't give you a chance to download things back. They just say, try to give us a valid reason not to take this down. And if you're lucky, a live human being will look at it and not just a bot. And I've lost what I thought were precious videos, you know, innocent cooking videos, or videos with my cats, or videos with my mom. And I'm thinking, dude, why do you have to, you know, but whenever you're on a platform where somebody else owns the servers, you know, you got to realize that you might not have the freedoms. So, I'm going to, later on today, ask somebody if they can tell me what's up with this phone. And if it's as simple as just getting a couple of cheap ones. It's Jasmine, hello, morning. I did not know I was going to do a live today. My mom wanted to eat, and I decided, since I screwed up on the dinner that I was going to make last night, that I was going to film. I fell asleep in my clothes and everything. Didn't wake up till 4 o'clock. I was like, oh, I was not good. So I said, okay, I'm going to not screw up today. I'm going to make her a fancy breakfast, but I was going to make a video about it. And as I was starting to cook it, only some of it got successfully filmed. Then the camera shut off. Then when I tried to resume it, trying to make up for the fact that you can't unfry and refry things, you know, and it said that I'd run out of room on this phone, and I just literally got it. I don't feel like I've had it much more than a week, you know. And it says to check in my settings and start trying to look for things to delete, and there's nothing really that I want to delete. Any bad pictures I got rid of. Or, you know, when you make mistakes, when you're starting off something and you're thinking, maybe I can use some of these for a blooper reel, the rest you get rid of, you know. And the thing is, I have been transferring things to this laptop and get rid of them here. But the thing is, if something happened to the laptop and all that stuff is in it, and I got rid of the stuff that was in here, then the stuff is still, unless it's actually already in the cloud, you know, and I mean irretrievably in the cloud, not like it's there, but I have to pay something a year to keep it or whatever. I mean, you want to know that you can reliably have your stuff safe. You know, that's why I think it's important to put things on as many different platforms as possible so that it's still up there somewhere. Because, you know, and if I have to, maybe sometime today, go back to Temu and get some more of these cheap cell phones from different sellers and get a bunch of them with the best cameras and the most storage space as possible, and hopefully some of them aren't just toys that you use up in a week. you know, because I need room to film, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on one thing that somebody's going to steal from me or something. You know, I mean, how else do you lose a phone in your home? And it just happens to be when a party full of drunken people are there, and I don't want to say that I think any of them took anything, but it's suspicious to me that on the day that my cat's buried, and a few days when I had the biggest party I've ever had in this place anyway, and just the phone just disappears, you know, and I haven't found it since. I mean, how does that just coincidentally happen, you know? But if I need to go back on Temu, I've been wanting to get some pot leaf socks anyway. And since somebody treated me to some sunblock, I want to show you the sunblock I got. Look at this. Okay, this is SPF 50. And there's 3 of this. And I got 3 of this SPF 30. Now, the SPF 30s, they are 8 fluid ounce bottles, okay? The SPF 50s, they're much smaller bottles. They are 3 fluid ounces. And if you're like me, you go through liberal use of sunblock because it's a real important thing. Anyway, I had been planning on going and re-upping my supply because I was running very low and I was kind of conserving it for my face. Oh, by the way, my computer just, the screen just went dead. Now I don't understand this. I didn't unplug it. Oh, tell me I didn't finally snap my computer. Oh, you guys, I may have actually my computer may have actually bit the dust. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, wait a minute. I beg your pardon. I just pressed the button and the screen made it glow. So, okay, now it says 12:32. And, okay, it's inviting me to sign it in. All right, I don't know. Anyway, where am I? I was talking about the sunblock. I was planning on going to the dollar store on Central Pier on Atlantic City Boardwalk, and I'm never there when I have money on me. And usually when I'm there, I have a cart full of food and takeout containers and clothes and whatever, and I don't want to go in a store or a casino or anything like that. But I was there, and I just wanted to take a look at what was there so that if there's anything that I actually wanted to spend money on, I would go back, get some money, and go back there. And I saw that they had a bunch of sunblocks there. Now, the thing is, the big tubes, the tubes of the 30, they're $1.99. Because these dollar stores, they don't have to be 99 cents. They have signs warning you that things should be less or more than. So these are $1.99, and these 3-ounce tubes of the actually better stuff, because it's 50, these are 99 cents. So I made a note of, okay, there's sunscreen here, and I asked them how late they're open. It said 10 o'clock. So then as I was exiting there and I was walking back down the beach, this was the day that I got that footage of the hurricane, I saw a friend of mine on the beach between the railing and the sand dunes, and I was not expecting him on the beach. Apparently he knew somebody that was living under the boardwalk, which how can you get away with living under the boardwalk without the cops finding you? That's a serious ticket there, and you gotta be so careful, and they always steal people's stuff, and it's real risky there. But anyway, he was there, and I told him that I was on my way back to get some money so that I could go and get myself some sunblock. And he had just been in the casino. He has a gambling bug, okay? And he whips out a $10 bill, and he says, go get you a bunch of sunblocks. So I did. So he treated me to SPF, so now I could get through the rest of the season. I could liberally put on my face and on my arms. I could actually wear short sleeves and not be too terrified, too sweltering, covering up in a jacket when I feel like a baked potato that's wrapped up in foil, and I just want to, if I'm carrying my umbrella, I should technically be shaded anyway. But then sometimes it's really, really, really windy, and you're struggling against the wind, and it hits up against your shoulder blades or against your clavicle, and boy, that hurts. And it swings around, and they don't make very sturdy umbrellas. It goes inside out a couple times, and it totally gets messed up. And that's why I try to get them as cheap or as free, definitely, because they are, again, when you need to be protected from the sun, they are not a luxury item. I don't care how unusual it looks. It's not keeping shade, especially between the hours of 10 and 4. That's a real important thing. That and sunblock. I wish more people did it. It's a real smart thing to do. But anyway, I got this sunblock. I've got a nice supply of sunblock. That's something that was kind of on my goals list of things that's a supply that I need. I got them, and but I may need to get another cheap phone like this or two, just so that if they try to do another thing where I think I'm getting so much storage, but in reality it says it only has this much storage, and what I'll do is I'll get them from different sellers, so that maybe one from somebody else actually has more storage, and what I'll do is, so that I don't lose them on myself, once I get them figured out, I won't start really using them until I use them up, so that I always have something that I can grab and I can have out in the field when I'm someplace, so that if I see something that's worth making a video about, I'll be able to do it. Now it says today UVs will be high starting at 1 p.m. It's 12:36 right now. I'm going to put these back in the supply closet. While we're on the subject of sunscreens, my favorite current sunscreen is by Banana Boat. It's a sensitive skin, sensitive, and I recommend this for the people who are the really, really, really whitest of us, really, because if you've got a darker skin, you're not going to like the white cast. A lot of people complain about looking ghostly, looking like you just dumped baby powder on yourself. If you don't want something like that in a sunblock, you don't want to use this. But if you're like me, you're very fair, and you like something that will maybe even out your freckles, make you not look spotted and dotted, if you want to look paler and stuff. I love this stuff. I got this, was it last year or the year before? I actually got a bunch of it at one time. Oh, was that the mailman? I always got to keep my ear out for mail, because I'm waiting for something on Temu. And the thing is, if I'm lucky, I'm going to be getting things sent piece by piece by piece, because that way they could stick them in my mailbox. When it comes to packages, I was having too many problems. And it's ridiculous. For the amount of years that my family and I have lived in the same location, you would think the carriers would have gotten the clue by now. But it's also because it's an extreme urban area with a lot of foot traffic. And I found out that the people that were in charge of my mother's physical therapy, they were afraid to come to this building, because they'd heard that the neighborhood was sketchy. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to say that it doesn't have its interesting qualities, but I will also say that for the most part, I walk around all hours of the day or night in the skimpiest of little outfits, looking for goodies, looking for friends, walking around, whatever, and for the most part, I've been okay. It's not to say that you haven't heard gunshots. It's not to say that you don't sometimes have people hanging around, blasting their rap crap, hanging around doing things. But the city has installed a whole bunch of cameras that go straight to the police station. So some of the overt activity has really been discouraged. And since the terrible churches moved out from downstairs, it's been quiet. It's so wonderful to have things quiet, you know? My mom was asking about coffee. I think it's time to do the coffee thing. You know, I'm no longer real careful about my caffeine like I had been, even though a lot of times I mix decaf with coffee. Like this is a combination of Dunkin' Donuts decaf and Dunkin' Donuts Colombian. Okay, that's what I'm, if you're curious about what's in my pot right now. And I love these canisters, these Folgers canisters, because they hold a lot of stuff. But I'm using this Dunkin' Donuts Colombian, and I'm using this Dunkin' Donuts decaf. One of my mom's friends had sent her some coffee last month in a care package. Thank you, Kat. And I made my cowboy coffee. Oh, you want to see what I use as the measure for my coffee now? This tiny little red Solo cup. I don't know if it's the size of a shot glass or what, but one of these level put in here will make a 10-cup pot. Okay, so this is my coffee measure. And all this stuff fits in a coffee cup. Now, I know I have to put some of these canned goods up or down someplace, but I really don't want to take that thing away from my set, because I figured out where I can do the turnaround. Okay, I've got this. Now it's time for Mom's coffee. Because what Mama says goes. Okay. Well, I thought you wanted coffee.
Yes, okay.
I'll put something in front of you so that my friends don't go blind.
Yes.
Here's Mom. Oh, where's your cup? Oh, it's right
Where
here.
it usually is.
Oh, great. Okay, set this down. Gotta set this down here. Gotta. Oh. Okay, you see this? Because I can't even see.
Thank you.
Okay. Alright, now.
I appreciate your efforts.
And here, Mom, let's see proof that I'm giving you coffee. I'm not neglecting Mom. Smile. Tell them you're okay, you're alive.
Oh, I'm alive and trying to do my exercises.
Okay, so I better get the hell out of here.
Thank you very much.
As my father would say, hit the bricks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, she's had her coffee. Let me see what else people are saying. And I'm going to put this back there. And, I might as well take these and, you know what? I don't know if I want to show frying them up. I mean, you got the gist of it, right? I don't need to do this again. Well, you know what? Here. Do you see what I just did? Alright. Here's what I just did. I just added some oil to this. Well, first of all, I'm going to pour myself some coffee, okay? You know, I'm going to have a name. I'm going to have a name for this live stream when I finally put the information. I'm guessing I'm going to be cooking. I am going to, yes, coffee is important. Of course, Isle of Leaves. Some leaves are important. I like some of them leaves. I am going to be frying up some white corn Arepitas. What exactly that is, I don't know. I saw this. I found this. Okay, I'm keeping this fire on. The cell phone has been messing up. I tried to do a standalone video and it says I ran out of room, so I have to do this live. Okay. Okay, this is going to get kind of hot, so. Oh, I want to add some honey. Okay. Alright, first what I'm going to do is, because you can see it's sizzling already. Now these are made of white corn. And they're like, feel like a real hard fellow grease saver, yes. I am frugal, and I grew up with a family that gave me depression stories from grandparents and stuff. And these things, this is from a country called Honduras. And I don't speak any Spanish, okay? I don't, to my knowledge, have any cultural background in Spanish. But I do love food, as long as it's food that I like. And, you know what, let me turn down the fire a little bit. Always have baking soda with you when you're cooking, because grease fires, you know you never put water on them. You know that, right? But now I want to put honey in my coffee. I want you to see my cat spoon. Yes, I'm a grease saver. I like to save chicken grease, put that in a jar. Or, you know what, you can also use an empty can. They'll even sell flavored bacon grease now. And I have a can of it that I acquired, a jar of it rather. But really one of the oils that I love is coconut oil. Actually, coconut oil, I like to use that to take my eye makeup off. It has fatty acids that are really good for the skin. I'm glad I remembered that I fried mushrooms earlier. These little pieces here, I don't want to think that they're left over from our mice. You know, I don't want to think that that would be a problem. Well, I don't think they would go in a hot container. So. You know, I won't use these two back burners, and I won't use the oven because of the mice. I mean, can you imagine that was your home and somebody turned on an oven? That'd be a hell of a way to go. Oh, I want to give a shout out to our pest control guy. I'm not going to say his name, but in the off chance that he's watching my videos, whatever you did, those baits in the traps for the ants, took care of the ant problem. I'm not getting them crawling on my computer anymore. I'm not getting them crawling on me, tickling me, these tiny little ants. I'm not seeing them by the kitchen sink anymore. So, you know, I think I tripped him out when he saw that I was kind to the mice and insisting that they be treated as humanely as possible. Okay, I'm going to put these back in the fridge. You know what? I think some sliced onion could probably work in this. These are all small ones. Have you ever seen those little videos on like Facebook Live and stuff saying that if you save the onion skins, you can use them, grind them up, and make onion powder? The problem is, whenever I have taken onion skins off I've almost never seen onion skins that didn't have mold and mildew. So I'm thinking, so you gotta take the skins off, then you gotta scrub the mold and mildew off, then you gotta let it air dry before you powder them. So that seems to me that's more effort than most people are going to go through. But I love those videos learning about the medicinal power of food. I think that is just an amazing thing. Oh, this is a knife I'm using. It's not very sharp, actually. I mean, it's sharp enough, but it's not, it doesn't have those scary serrated points like some of the bread knives are, and some of the knives that are used to deal with frozen food, for instance. I just want to get the skin off without taking all day to get the skin off, you know. Some people like to get it under running water. That's another way. I don't want to take forever because I've got this stuff frying. But yeah, I would like to make my own homemade onion powder, and if it's as easy as taking the skin, you know, why not? Alright, see? Oh, I wish you could smell the onion. Alright, I'm gonna put that on here. You know what? Maybe it's time to turn these around and maybe not splashing myself would be good. Yeah. And there's one thing I don't think we have anymore is a spatter shield. It's a special kind of screen that you can put over a lid, and when you're frying things, you don't get spit on. And we had one for years, and I don't know if we have one right now. I'm going to thickly slice some onions. And by the way, this is a very dangerous way to cut things. Don't do it. You know, you should actually always be cutting away from yourself. Sometimes the things that we do because we're confident in the kitchen are not the things that we should be showing because you don't want to emulate things. You know, the proper thing to do is to use a cutting board. Oh, cutting bagels is the most dangerous thing. You know, I think I am going to invest in that special thing that you stick a bagel in, and so when you cut it, there's a guard so you can't hurt yourself. Those are a really good thing if you eat bagels a lot. Did you notice they rarely cut them? Okay, I'm going to just take these, I'm going to throw them in, throw that in there. And now it's really going to smell good in here. I threw in onions. And sometimes the simplest things smell so good. But I definitely don't want these to get blackened. My eyes are starting to feel like they're burning a little. You know, I was thinking these were getting too hard, and my mom was saying, cook them longer, you know. I mean, you don't want to break your teeth when you're eating them, you know. Let's see. Vasco 23. Amanda, no, these are called Arepitas. They are made of white corn. They're made by a company called Goya. I'm going to show you the packaging. Oh, where's the packaging? Yeehaw, where? Oh, here it is. This is the empty packaging. They're made of white corn, and they're like, imagine cookie-shaped, really thick, kind of hard tortillas that you can do a lot with. They're not cookies at all. I never heard of them. I actually found this. Here's this drop-off spot near me where people drop off clothes and just whatever, and I drop off things to donate also. And I found things, and sometimes I found Chinese cooking things. And well, this is from a country called Honduras, where this is from. And I asked a Spanish-speaking friend of mine what it was, and he thought these were some kind of cookies, but there's no sugar in them. The ingredients are white corn, water, sorbic acid, and citric acid preservatives. And it says 5 servings per container in your 10 of these. And obviously I am using like 6 or 8 of them as a serving. You saw what I gave Mom. Now I've got to be very, very, very careful about the onion. So I'm going to start to fish that out. Because I noticed onion will go from translucent and then all of a sudden it's getting black on the edges. But this will flavor the oil and hopefully these. You're like, if you don't add something that has salt, then there's like, you're thinking, oh, these need flavor. Okay, now you see these tiny little bits. Oh, now whenever you're cooking garlic, this is where you have to be really careful, because there's always going to be a few bits that you miss. That they get blacker and they get blacker and they get burned. And oh, I love garlic. I love onions, but when they're black, that can kind of ruin things. So, see, I got everything out before it got black. Oh, this smells so good, you guys. I wish you could smell this. And you never want to leave things unattended. No. I would probably have liked to have cooked this in real olive oil. I'm out of olive oil. Olive oil will go rancid on you if you don't eat it fast. And the thing is, I love olive oil because I like experimenting with healthier fats. I'm all for RFK Jr. and what he's doing, making our food supply healthier. I think that is so important. Oh, I love the blue hearts. Thank you. I have to get close to the screen to see. You're tuning in late, so you've got to know this. I just got an error message on my phone saying I used up all my filming capability. So I went into the settings, and in fact, it said I had not. I only used up 35 gigabytes, and there's 256 gigabytes of storage space available on this. I've only had it not even 2 weeks. It seems like I've had it a week, right? But I got it for a very, very cheap price, so I'm thinking, at this rate, I could get a handful of these really, really, really cheap phones so I have something to film with, because you gotta have something portable. And my computer is literally falling apart. You could see when I brought it into my room, the screen is literally, the hinges are broken and they're coming into pieces, and it was falling apart the last time I was outside at the Tropicana Casino. And I actually carried it into a ladies' room so I could get to a nice big mirror so I could show how it was falling apart. So then I got this phone and I'm frying it, but I wanted to make a video about Arepitas, Arepitas, A-R-E-P-I-T-A-S, Arepitas. They're made of white corn, and oh, I can wash this off. And I can put wet things into a hot skillet or a pan of any kind full of hot grease. You know what? I don't think it's going to kill me. You know what? Another mushroom. Another mushroom. Yes? Always got to clean mushrooms you get. You know where mushrooms grow in, right? Ooh, I just got spit on my leg. Oh, Another mushroom? Sure, why not? Right? Oh, I think I better just cut myself. Oh, hey, blood tastes good. I got a video coming up about that. Cutting up one more mushroom. You know what? Got one left. Might as well cook it, right? You know, it's funny. I never wanted to work around food because I was always afraid if I cooked, I would eat a lot and I would gain weight and stuff. And, you know, sometimes it's the junk food that actually ends up getting you. I gotta lose the weight that I put on because I was eating the junk. You know. But when you got someone you love to cook for, you have a reason to cook. And I do love to cook. It's food I love to eat. And if I got somebody I love to cook for, it's certainly fun to cook for an audience. Okay, now this is browner than what I've given her before. That is done. That is different. Take it out. I am taking that out. I am taking that out. Arepitas. Arepitas? Sounds like I'm saying Arepitas. Arepitas, the Arepitas. Which in a way is the truth, because I'm repeating cooking Arepitas because this camera phone is messing up. So, okay, I turn the fire off. Arepitas and mushrooms and onions. I never made Arepitas before. I don't know how they make them in Honduras. But I just made them here. Now I'm taking the rest of the mushrooms. I'm putting them in this pan. Now she says she's full. So I'm just going to save them, put them in the fridge or something. But now I got my coffee. Let me see if I got enough honey in it. And I could use a wee little bit more. One thing, see that onion here? The mice won't be attracted to it because mice do not like onions or garlic. Enjoy my coffee. Oh, good. I better put this somewhere where it's not going to attract attention of any critters. Oh, I think I better add a touch of salt to this. This is here, what this looks like. So I'm going to have to title this with Arepitas. Now I'm going to throw some red pepper flakes. I think I have a well-stocked kitchen when it comes to spices and things. But the most important thing that we don't get enough of is salt, I think. I mean, most people eat too much salt. But I'm just saying, is it what thing that we need? Now, because my mom's not going to eat any of that, I've actually put some of this in. She can't eat it because she's a heart patient, and she says that they can't take those. So, and you'd think that since I might have inherited her problems, maybe I shouldn't take it either, but she's taking all these meds and I'm not, so. Oh man, that coffee's so good. It's also kind of cooled off a lot, otherwise, you know, I couldn't chug a lot of it. What am I looking for? Oh, I was talking about the metal containers that black pepper can come in. This is what I use to fill up this container. These have a tamper-proof seal here that makes it really hard to take it off to open things. So I was struggling with that, you know. Like, I'm going to guess that my mom would not have been able to open that thing up. Okay. Many people save the ends of their onions, save them in a bag, stick them in the freezer, and then when they're going to make soup, just throw them in the soup pot. Some people take the skins off and plant them, and you can grow onions that way too. Now, I might just save the mushrooms. I'll take a cup like this, and when you fry up things like mushrooms and onions and stuff, stick them in there, stick them back in the freezer. So that's what I'm going to do with most of this, actually. I'm going to take the onion, the mushrooms, and next time you need something to flavor things with, just reach into your freezer. Just allow it enough time to thaw out, you know, when you're reheating something. I grew up watching my mom cook. When we would go on vacation, I got to see my grandparents cook. Though when my grandpa was in the kitchen, he didn't want anybody helping. He was one of these, you know, two cooks is one cook too many and stuff. Okay, you see, this is all full. Now I'll stick this in the freezer. Yeah. Okay. Now I can get rid of this container. All this has is one lone jalapeno that I can, you know, I'll put this with the produce. I have a bunch of stale nuts for the squirrels, and I never remember to bring them with me when I'm outside. And those squirrels, they sleep at night, so they're only active in the daytime. Okay, I'm gonna put this away. Try one of these. That's great. You think that you put almost everything away, and there's still enough so you can have a snack. This is good. See, the onion was done just right. Soft enough to be translucent. Now I'm gonna, you know what, I better wash my hands. I'm telling you. Okay. Now I washed my hands. Carefully take this from the holder. I'm gonna turn this off. And I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of water to this coffee maker. So she's going to ask for another cup of coffee. And you can stretch out another cup of coffee. Because there's always grounds in here. I mean, it's not always grounds, but there's enough grounds. I gotta wash some of the dishes and things. Let me finish up my coffee. Oh man. Dishes, clothes, it never ends. Alright. Come back to my studio. Ooh. My wonderful studio. And oh yeah, my computer shut off. Oh, you know what? I didn't do anything to it. I think it needed to do an update. Let's see, let's set you someplace temporarily while I have to do something here. I'm trying to set this properly on something and make sure that if it falls, it can't fall on anything that's gonna break. Okay. Whew. Alright. Now, can you see me? I'm over here. I'm gonna turn my computer back on. You guys are over 21, right? So, hey, as long as my computer is still plugging away there, I can continue to make standalone videos. And I enjoy doing live. I like shorts. I like standalone videos. You know what else I like? I like weed. I always give a disclaimer before I'm about to do this. I'm over 21. I'm in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It is a free state, not just for medical people, but for all grown-ups. And I'm a grown-up. If you die, I'm a grown-up. I'm a grown-up. Been a grown-up for quite a while now. And this whole adulting business really sucks. But being a grown-up has its privileges. Don't do alcohol. Don't do chemicals. I enjoy weed. And you see what I'm doing here? Crumbling it up. It's that wee little bud. Now, if you got kids, shield your kids away from the screen. Please don't babysit your kids using my channel. I mean, watch a video first, and if you're satisfied that it doesn't go against your moral codes, then you could show them. But I don't want to be the cause of anybody turning into a life of moral decay because they saw Leathur Rokk's content. I'm back. I'm back. And like I said, I guess it's 4:20 in here. I mean, it's 4:20 in my place. It's technically 1:18 p.m. Oh, great. This fell on my ground. I gotta add this to my laundry stack. Wash this, because this is what I've been putting my cell phone in so that it doesn't get lost in my purse and it doesn't get dinged by things and it keeps it clean and all that. Okay. Go for a walk with me. Go for a walk with me. This, of course, is where Mom is doing her workout stuff. And, I wanted to bring this to your attention. What do you think of this little table thing? Isn't it great? This is going to look really nice in the next apartment. I love that it's white. It can blend in with the white walls. It can be real it can really fit with things, and assuming I don't clutter it up, it should look really good. But this is mine. You know, I still want to refinish that stand-up desk that I actually got at a place called Princeton Antiques, with the intention of taking the paint off it, painting it white, then zebra striping it. And I'm thinking then I could do that with this also, you know, and I'd have matching pieces. So, don't mind me, I'm just looking out the window. See if there's anybody or anything that I recognize. It's safe for me to look out the window. Yes, it is. Alright, well, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna just close things. Alright. Mom. She's asleep. She sleeps a lot. Sometimes I have snuck out to do things when she was asleep and judged that it was okay, but I don't do that for more than a few hours because I never want to leave her alone if something was to happen, like she was to fall or something. And since I don't have anybody else staying with me, and oh, by the way, the other person who's the family person, he just left to do something. He won't be back till late tonight, so sometimes it's just her and me, and I know I need to be taking care of business, you know. But, I'm going to inhale one more bowl, if it's okay with you guys, because this really does chill me out. Sometimes when you're a caregiver, there's just so many things to do. There's never any shortage of stuff to do. And then when I do take time to do things for myself and my channel, then sometimes people give me attitude saying, oh, you neglecting your mother, you know, whatever. I assure you, if I leave town for any extended period of time, I do make arrangements. When I went to Washington, D.C., I made arrangements. I had friends check on her in various ways. Some of it was phone calls, some of it was coming over. I was even going to leave a key to, there's one person in particular who is just somebody I trust, who I've known since high school, literally. And he is never wronged me, okay? And he's never showed any kind of hidden agenda or tried anything underhanded, like sometimes men, especially if you're a girl and you're talking about guy friends. So sometimes what you think is a harmless friendship, sometimes it's, you know, different people. You never know what's going on in somebody's head, but this is somebody who is pure of intent, and is someone who I try to go out of my way not to use. Like for all the tech help he's given me through the years, I try to kick him down things, you know, valuables and stuff. So, smoke them if you got them. Oh, you know what's in here? My favorite Axe set. Axe is a body wash and shampoo and conditioner and deodorant line for men. And they have all these different scents. And I, by accident, discovered that there's one I like. And it's, I think the scent's called Excite. And it comes in this real dark color that it's so purple it's black. And I had a coupon once for $2.99, and that was exactly what their underarm deodorant cost. And I got myself some. And you know how some deodorants, they act like a scent for you, and for hours you smell yourself. So it was, I really like the scent. It's kind of like chocolatey, and not too men's cologne-ish, if that means anything. Men's cologne tends to have certain categories that make them, to me, typically men's colognes. And while yes, I can associate them with men, like I remember whenever my father would take a shower, he would use Old Spice, and the whole apartment would waft up with that. But so it's so easy to overdo with the men's fragrances, and a lot of times, though, frankly, I guess whatever it is guys use when they first leave the house, it fades in an hour or so. So it's not if you only smell a person when they're just leaving the house, you don't know what they smell like the rest of the day. So maybe the men's stuff doesn't last as long. Anyway, all I know is I like this particular stuff. I got some body wash. I saved. Oh, I know. Just somebody I'm not friends with had some, and I used some. I got some. And every now and then I use this, and I really love the smell of it. The fragrance is called Excite, and I don't know if I like it. Probably other chicks do also. I'm not usually one looking for androgynous looking things. Well, I don't look for things as having labels. I think the scents are like fabrics. They just exist, and if you like them, you like them. And if a guy wants to wear things that smell like roses, it doesn't make him less of a man any more than women wear trousers or if men wear dresses, and you don't know what a person's intention is. Maybe they're riffing on something, maybe they're trying to have fun, maybe they're trying to make a political statement. You can't just assume what's going on, and you can't assume that a person wants to change things. People sometimes just want to, I think, just play with fashion and play with the variety that we have in life to do things. I know when I wear a three-piece suit and tie, I feel very powerful and I feel very badass. And if I'm carrying a briefcase, I'm like, don't mess with me. I belong here. I have the right to take up this space, and I have the right to be respected. And these are things that we all should be. We all have the right to be respected. We all have the right to take up space and not be judged for how we take up space, as long as we're not trying to hurt other people. And really, if we all are focused on our own journey, why would we worry about what other people are doing? That's the way I see it. If I'm trying to be my best self, why am I worried about what somebody's exercise regimen or their diet might be with respect to how they present themselves? Like, okay, I know that my body is not great right now because I know I screwed myself up because I ate crappy and I got less exercise, but I at least can take personal responsibility for it. I'd be wearing bare midriffs all the time before I filmed videos if I thought that I looked all that great. You see, I've been more covered up. It's not because it's cold. It's not. Now, let's see what the weather says it is up here right now. 76 degrees. That's not cold. I've got one fan running. That's a fan going to my bed, which doesn't even go to here. And I've got this tiny little fan that's coming here. I hope that's not messing with the audio. Take another hit. So glad they're legalizing it more and more. We need federal legalization, people. Am I right? So when you travel, you don't have to worry about, I got lost near the state line, now I'm someplace and the cops pull me over and what's this you got here, and you know where it goes. And then if you're living in your vehicle, then it gets impounded and you lose your home. I mean, can you imagine? This probably happens to a lot of people. And then people get, in some states you can be guilty of a quote-unquote felony and you can be in prison. In other states you can walk around and even smoking in public and the cops just ignore it like it's nothing. If we can do things in some states, why can't we do things in another? I mean, it's this whole states' rights versus federal. If you make certain things guaranteed federally, it's like marriage equality. Marriage equality and rights of people to marry each other regardless of their race and their religion and all that stuff, that's guaranteed in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So you can't all of a sudden say, in a racial couple you can't get married anymore. No, that's set in stone, right? I mean, it is, right? So if that's the case, why can't we have certain states' rights, like cannabis finally got legalized? So, okay, I would hope that states don't lose their rights that are legal for a while, just like prohibition. Things were legal, then prohibition happened, and that was another experiment, and people decided that, you already unleashed the beast of us having this intoxicant that the most of the American public seemed to like. So they figured we're going to get it no matter how. If we have to sneak it, we're going to get it. Okay. Here's the weed. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's disappearing. The weed is disappearing. But hey, I earned my right to treat myself. Because, okay, look at all that sunscreen I got. It was given to me that I was planning on buying anyway. Because sunscreen is a need. This is not a need. This is a want. This is something I enjoy. But it's not a need. It's not a medical necessity the way sunblock is. You know, my father had 8 melanomas cut off of him before he died. And you know, it's not good when they spread. That's what happened to him. And depending on where they spread, you know. The last 2 spread to his lungs and his pancreas. That's not good news. So, and we didn't have all the knowledge about how dangerous sun exposure was in his day. And plus, when it involves your livelihood, you know, everybody has to go to work. And if you're providing for your family and stuff, men did a lot of fearless things and with less protection. It's like the early people when football was first invented. They didn't have all the padding and the helmets and all the different things to protect you from collisions. Now, it's a much safer game, and now there's awareness of concussions and things. It's really kind of a great time to be alive and interested in contact sports and things, and game is being made safer, and you're doing things to make it safer for kids when they're learning the game, and they're aware of even things like heart disease in youth, and the fact that most young people, since we usually think of certain diseases as happening to middle-aged and older people, you don't tend to be testing for kids. And it must be terrifying to be a parent. You send your kids off to school, they discover a sport they love. Sports build character, sports teach you about teamwork. There's so many, and discipline, there's so many great things that can be part of sports. The last thing you want to think about is, am I exposing my kid to some, finding out about some underlying medical condition, and all of a sudden he dies on the practice or something? That must be horrible. And then, of course, you have to worry about, because you're dealing with other kids, and sometimes other kids are real bastards. Like when I went to school, oh man, I mean, I had some good kids, but there were some that were really not nice people. And I think it must have been a family thing, because I had gotten beat up in school, in high school, and I actually took 3 different kids to juvenile court, and they ended up having to go to night school to finish, if they even got their high school diplomas. Because, you know, going to school, you have a right to try to get an education, but if part of your pursuing your education means you pulling people out who look different from you, and beating them up in the halls, punching somebody in the face. Our choir director got punched in the face by some bad kids down in the basement. It was a 4-story building, and I loved that building. I loved our high school building. They tore it down to make a parking lot for one of the casinos. I loved that building. And the thing is, if they'd only use something else for a parking lot, now it does have a use, but the land was rebuilt on. But the original building of my high school, and it had a bell tower that was not mounted anywhere. It was a separate little room that was just a little bit bigger than the bell. And it was kind of like a Liberty Bell shaped bell, you know. And I'm sure a lot of people had a sentimental love for it, but you know, I mean, still, whenever I see anything pertaining to my high school, it gives me a sense of sentimentality, even though it's a different building. It's like 2 miles away, like practically on the mainland, and, you know, but that lunar fair that I'm going to be going to is going to be held at Bader Field, which is a lot of times where they hold the high school graduations, if you don't get rained out. I think for my graduation, it got rained out on, and my grandparents had to go to work the next day, so they actually had to go home, and they ended up missing the rescheduled day, so they didn't get to see me graduate and all that stuff. So, take another hit off this. It's nothing quite like your first weed of the morning, though. want to talk about something, and I'm probably going to make a standalone video. We'll have to be with that one. I got a package in the mail a couple days ago, and it was sent using the mail drop address that I have now, that a friend of mine provided for me, so now I have a way for people to get in touch with me. Well, a very good friend of mine, who has been a friend of me, and a friend of my mother, and our dear cats. Okay, I'm back, and yeah, okay, and guess what, I don't even remember where I was going here with this. Anyway, I think I am going to, sometime today, go back on Temu and see if I can find another cheap phone like this. And by cheap, I mean another thing less than $60, includes free shipping and all that stuff. Because if something else happens, there's a malfunction, it says it's filled up, and I know damn well it's not. I need to be able to keep on filming. I gotta keep this channel going alive. This is really, I love being on YouTube, and to a lesser degree, I enjoy the other social medias too, like Instagram. But now, I was trying to do my first Instagram live video yesterday. And I was doing it for like over an hour, right? But I wasn't getting any feedback from people. Like here, I could see the people comment. I could talk to them what I see on the screen and stuff. And the only thing I could see is a live thing and whatever. And I didn't want to touch random things and accidentally turn myself off because I couldn't really see what I was doing. Because again, this small screen is taking quite an adjustment when I'm used to being able to go on a computer and see a nice big screen, and I'm really used to that, you know, and seeing myself much smaller, and the fact is an adjustment. Also, the fact that I have no choice but to do this vertical thing on cell phones for live streams when I prefer this long look, which you seem to only be able to get with a computer, you know. And every time I see something with a screen on it, with a hinge on it, I think, how fast before the hinge starts messing up? Like, if you notice that they're selling this one brand new cell phone that, I forget who puts it out, I think maybe Samsung, but it's a folding phone, and the folding part appeals to me because I'm thinking you can use that as an open up cell phone, and you can take selfies, pictures, and see yourself the way I do with an open laptop, and it's just so easy because you mount it everywhere. You don't have to worry about getting them out, carrying a tripod, the braces, the selfie sticks, all the things that we do. It's so easy when you have just open up a device, right? But this thing, it opens up into this big flat tablet, and it's beautiful. But I'm thinking, if you're opening it up all the time, like say it's folded up and it's in your pocket most of the time, right? And then you open it up to read the screen, and then you're opening it up and opening it up and opening it up all the time. At least when I have my laptop computer thing, I want you to see how I generally have it. Even if I don't have a problem with the hinges on this, I always have them sitting open, okay? I have it sitting open so that if I've got a working screen, which you know what I do have behind it, I want you to see. See that? This is actually one of my, the site's called Loot Up, and they have these videos called Pixel Point, and you can choose the genre you want. I usually watch cooking videos because even with the sound off, I can get ideas for what spices go with what for different things. And they've got these creators from India and from different Asian countries, and I love their cuisines, and I get ideas, and I love to hear the voices of the people, and sometimes they show us their pets and their villages and their temples, and I really love that, especially people showing what India looks like. And here's a guy from the Philippines. He has But the thing is, what the name of the channel is on this site that I'm on is not necessarily what the name of the channel is on YouTube. So I don't even know what to call them. But there's this one, Taste Buds PH, and the PH is for Philippines. But that's what it's called on this site that have on my screen right now. But I don't know if they call themselves Tasty Bites on YouTube or what. But it's a family that live in the Philippines. But on this channel, they also have somebody that lives in India. And I love it when they have recipes showing their ingredients. And I have most of them. There are a few things that inadvertently got thrown out from our kitchen during one time when the other person was being helpful cleaning in the kitchen. He threw out a bunch of things that were half used. There were Asian condiments that I had, like especially stuff for Chinese food. I had oyster sauce, I had fish sauce, I had chili garlic sauce, you know, that paste that you get from Hoi Fong Foods. It tastes kind of like their sriracha, but it's really garlicky, it's really salty, and it almost seems kind of fishy, but I don't think it has anchovies in it, but maybe anchovy paste is one of the ingredients, I don't know, but I think it's really wonderful. There are some Chinese restaurants here in the high-end casinos that they have these soy sauce packets. They have, or some of them have a chili garlic sauce, and they're from brands that I think it's all in Chinese. And they're so tasty, you could just put a drop of that on a cracker and just take that in 4 pieces and just nibble on that, you know. And I think it's a real sensory delight. You could take a piece of celery, or not celery, you could take lettuce, and you can make lettuce wraps. You could take some of these things and saute some onion and some garlic and cook. I'm hearing a yell. I want to make sure that's not my mom. You could cook some ground pork, and you can make lettuce wraps. Mom, did you call me?
Yes, I did.
Yes, what's up?
I had an accident.
Oh, okay. Want me to help you? Oh, what is that?
Coffee.
Oh, coffee. Oh, she said she had an accident, and I about shit myself. Guess what?
Never.
Oh, excuse me. I'm getting coarse.
Yes, you
Have
are.
we met? Well, anyway. Okay, just show your face.
No.
No, you say there's coffee on there.
I dropped the coffee
Which
cup
means
on me.
I'm going to have to get this off and put it in cold water because we all know the coffee stains.
Well, let's do that.
Okay, all right.
Talking isn't helping.
I know. Okay, well, I got to put this down because I don't think they want to. I don't have a copy of that super song. And I've already gotten a complaint from somebody that saw some of my mom's gutsies. God forbid. Oh, what will happen? Nobody's eyes are going to get put out. So I'm going to find her a shirt and take that off and soak it in cold water. Because that's, if anybody knows anything about hand laundry, it's myself. That's kind of like so much of what I do. Okay, I don't want this falling over. I want to make sure that if it does fall over, it will get a soft landing. See, this is guaranteed it won't fall over, but you don't have the most interesting view. Anyway, hold that thought. When she said she had an accident, I didn't know what she meant, you know, because let's face it, what does that usually mean? But no, she was almost finished with a cup of coffee, and she said her wrist gave way. Oh, and this is a shirt. This is one of my favorite of her shirts. Look at this. Now you see, there's coffee here. I gotta hit this with cold water right away. Because you don't mess around with things that do deep stains. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna just right here find something that's clean. And you want to use cold water, not hot. It would have set the stain. Now this is, I'm just setting this in the rice cooker bowl right now. Usually I set it, I have these big basins, but I have a basin which I have one more item of clothing to rinse out. I have a pair of stockings here. These are, I used to have two of these, one for soaking in soapy water, another for rinsing and dumping the rinse water and all that stuff. But one, did you know that you can get pinpoint cracks in stainless steel, and it could get a hole and a crack, and then all of a sudden you could spring a leak? It seems like they're indestructible, but it is apparently possible. But anyway, I'm hitting my mother's shirt in cold water using just a tiny little rice cooker, because I really don't have anything bigger and really big and clean being the operative word. Something that has any kind of grease or any kind of tomato or anything would be staining. That would obviously not be what we want. But I'm going to now take this and I'm going to stick this on this charmingly clean and appetizing stove, just so that at least I have it. The important thing is it's got wet water soaking. You don't want to set that stain. I'm definitely going to wash it in cold water, and I'm also going to use, we have these stain fighting crystals like the oxy crystals. Not much of this left, but when I want to make sure that something doesn't stain, or if I'm trying to get a stain out, I throw this in. You take a measuring cup spoon that's about 2 tablespoons. It's kind of like a coffee measure, I guess. And you're supposed to dissolve a little bit of that, or that in a wee little bit of hot water, and then put it in with your mixture. So this is what I am going to put in that. But today I'm going to have to rinse out these so that I can change the water and wash her thing. And this just happened. And all because her muscles gave out in your hand when she was holding the coffee cup. So, I mean, if it happened to her, it can happen to a lot of people. You know. Oh, boy. So, yeah, today I'm going to be finishing up. I mean, if you want to see how much laundry has accumulated, and a lot of this, most of this is my crap, because if, say, you're not going anywhere, but you need clothes changed for a video, and you're indoors, you're sweating on things, you're still going to need to clean things. Or maybe I smudge a little hair dye or I smudge a little lipstick on things. Now, these are a combination of my things and my mother's things hanging up on this thing. I want you to see this, okay? This is my mom's shirt. This is hers, Gucci's. This is a dress I wore. This is that gray cat shirt I wore. This is my mom's. This is my mom's. This is mine. This is the shirt that I wore when I was running around in the hurricane. This is the skirt that I wore when I was in the hurricane. This is the towel my mom used. This is, oh, she wants to get out of the hallway. Anyway, these are linens. A washcloth and a pillowcases. Everything's still in there, so you don't need anything. And I am giving my mom her space because she's going down to the bathroom. But yeah, everything is, I take things out of there, and things of a similar kind of level of cleanliness I wash together. If I only wore something for a half hour, And I assume it's way, way cleaner than if I wore something to go out on a Saturday morning and I had no choice but to sit down in your chairs to eat lunch. And sometimes I would sit on a bench on the boardwalk, even though I really don't like sitting in public places with my miniskirts, because you never know how clean the surface is. And that's the thing is, a lot of times people end up having to stand on the benches to get a look over the sand dunes if they want to look at the ocean, and they don't want to walk a couple of blocks to get an unobstructed view. You know, and you don't know how clean. I've personally seen people get sick on benches. You know, one time I actually went to a dollar store and got a bleach cleaner in a spray form, and I actually cleaned off a bench. This was when it was easier to find dollar stores and you didn't have to walk through to the other end of the city. Oh, okay, I'm getting a thing saying I'm getting a low battery thing. But you know what? I'm right in front of my computer, so I can plug this in and I can stick this into my computer. And you just watch. Okay, because I got the 15% warning. Now I am back plugged in. And, oh, now it says import photos from S25 Ultra. I am going to say, yes, let it get anything new. Because if they are messing with me saying that I don't have any more space in this, I think for a safety measure, I should have this backed up and have things. And then I want to have select new, and then I'm going to say add them. I'm going to set this down here. Oh boy. I still think I want to get a couple of those portable hard drives. You know. So, you know, it always says import partially successful. Failed to import 4 out of 5 items from S25 Ultra to this cell phone. That's what it's calling this. S25 Ultra. I guarantee you there's no way it could be a Samsung Ultra. I mean, because I keep on seeing the advertisements of Samsung Ultras, and I think they're very high-end phones. But I'm not disappointed with this thing. It's not really responsive when I go to take a picture. Like my first cell phone, I noticed that it was so easy to touch the wrong thing and not realize it was the wrong thing, and I'm starting to use it. And it's like the times that I made the slow-mo videos, those were totally by mistake. And I was wondering, why does this take forever to upload? It shouldn't take 24 hours to upload a video, my God. And then people started making some weird comments and something mentioning slow-mo and saying interesting effect. And I saw that I inadvertently hit the slow-mo thing. Because when you go for the pictures thing, there's like pictures, then there's video, then there's professional, and then there's night, and then there's food. But the thing is with food doesn't also mean video. Food only means photography. So I can't put the food thing on just because I'm making a food video. That was what I tried to do this morning. You know, I was intending to do a video showing how I film, how I make those Arepitas or pitas or whatever they are. I wanted to... Oh, now it says here, we couldn't reach your device. Please reconnect your device and try again. A notification has been sent requesting you to allow Microsoft Photos to access and import your photos. Okay. Device is unreachable. The device is right here and I'm connected. Okay, I'm going to pull this out. See that? I pulled it out. Now, pull this back in and push that in real good. Now, shouldn't be any problem. Yeah, it says we are loading your items from S25 Ultra. There may be. Yeah. Select new and 4 items. So I don't know. Should I get another cheap cell phone like this? I would like to get something expandable, you know, where I know for sure how much room I have. You know, I need to know that I have enough room to make the video the length that it needs to be. Because the thing is, people who don't create content all the time, to fulfill a need, in having a channel, you have a need, and obviously you have to fulfill it. Well, in order to, you go through the process of creating a video, you know, which I think there is a need. You have something to say, and you want to document something, you want to show history, something's going on, and you want to show, hey, this is happening live, and this is exciting, and look how high the surf is, and look how feel the 50-mile-an-hour winds, and the sand beneath my feet is getting wet, and it's kind of coming down, and I'm starting to sink into the water, and all of a sudden, you know, I promised my mom I wouldn't get past my ankles, and all of a sudden it's at my knees, and I got to get out of the water, you know. But there's something exciting about being in certain kinds of Mother Nature. Some things I think are scarier than others, but I think that being out here, sometimes I do get exciting things. Like when I was here for Sandy, we've never ever evacuated during any storms, partly because shelters did not, until very recently, did not allow people to bring pets. We always had cats. If we're going to have to leave an animal behind, oh no, we don't do that. So we never evacuated, never. And we tended to live in places that were a little bit higher ground anyway. If you're in the more low-lying areas, like this time around, Ventnor and Margate got some flooding. Well, that's below sea level. And if you're near the bay, that could be near sea level there. But now when we lived near the bay, but in Atlantic City, it was a higher lying area and we never flooded. And around here, it floods for like an hour or two and the water goes right down. It's never gone to such catastrophic levels. I'm not saying it's impossible to do so, but I'm just saying it's never happened. You know, I mean, for every now and then, like I took pictures of signs that were blown down in the neighborhood and were floating around on some of the main streets. But as soon as the water went down, the things were deposited wherever. You know, and some of the flooding that I captured in a video that I'm going to be posting in today, or not today, maybe tomorrow or the next, I don't know. But that water has already gone down. So I'm sure, and everything seems dry and harmless now. I haven't been out of the house today. I didn't go out anywhere except for standing. No, I beg your pardon, yesterday I walked around the block, but I didn't go out anywhere. To me, going around the block does not mean go out. You know, I'm just surveying your domain is not the same thing as going out. That's just seeing what's up, seeing what's been taken away, seeing what's been left out, you know. When I have a bunch of things we want to donate, there's places that I could drop things off, you know, where the kind of people I'm thinking might actually appreciate them, as opposed to people that just want to find things to sell. You know, there's this one chick, I think that's what she's doing. You know, she's so greedy, she goes to these places and she gets clothes. And I mean, when people say wait until everything is unpacked, wait till the tape is taken off the hangers, she cheats, she grabs things, and if I see something that I want for a specific purpose, like say I know somebody that would love that, it would fit them. A lot of stuff do not fit me because it's for larger sizes and stuff. And you can't tell when you spot something, you have to go and grab it first before you even know if it fits.
half the things that catch my eye I can't wear because they don't fit. But sometimes my mom ends up getting them, like the pants. You know, I usually can tell when they're too big because you can usually tell with pants. But there are some really cool things I've found that have patterns that I would totally wear. And when something happens that you spill coffee on yourself, you're going to need a fresh change of pants. So, and around the house, everybody likes to wear pajama kind of things and big t-shirt kind of things. And, you know, she needs more t-shirts that go closer to her knees so that certain people don't end up complaining. You know, she's got to be comfortable. And things have to be loose enough so that she doesn't have problems. Like, you know, she didn't used to be able to get dressed by herself. And she's come a long way. But there's still sometimes you get really sweaty. There are times when I've had a hard time getting undressed. And I came to my mom and I said, can you grab me where my bra strap is and back, for instance? Because I couldn't turn things around because I was real sweaty and this thing was really, really tight. And I didn't want my hair catching in the clothes or catching in my piercings. A bunch of things could have happened that I didn't want to have happen. And when you're sweaty, clothes stick to you. And the thing, I usually ended up through the force of gravity and through shimmying my shoulders down toward the carpet, I was usually able to get it out from whatever the clothing was without being helped. But sometimes it becomes really difficult. So I'm thinking, if I'm having a problem, imagine somebody with seriously painful arthritis. Imagine how she feels. And usually I would always, when she has to go to a doctor's appointment, I would always fasten her bra for her. I would always make sure that her shirt was draped nice over her pants and everything was hanging properly and all that. But when you're just hanging around the house and all you're doing is sitting in your bed, or laying in your bed, watching TV and stuff, and doing paperwork. She likes to do crossword puzzles and work finders and different things with a larger print. So these things are supposed to help to keep your mind going well, and she does have a very keen eye. I've depended on her to be my surrogate mind on more than one occasion. Oh, whoops. I'm going to show you guys something. This is a nightlight. I don't know the family story behind it, but I didn't want anything to happen to it, so I washed it up and I brought it in here. But of course it would need to be where there is a plug that would be convenient so you could see it, because I would want to show off something like that. So right now, I bet I can. Oh, you can't see because of the flag. Yeah. Here. See? I don't want to cover up the flag because that would be disrespectful. Of course, now you can't see Miniki Nikos unless you get this view. You see, usually this is the view where the computer usually is. Okay. Oh boy, and of course I limited where I could move the cell phone because it's plugged in to charge. I got a low battery warning, and this cell phone takes the longest time to charge. I mean, it takes 3 hours to charge it from nothing to its top thing, and even admits it's charging slow. But it didn't come with a brick. It just came with the USB cord. It's USB on one end, and I guess, what is it, USB-C or whatever the thing is that fits in Android phones. But and the cord itself is about 2.5 feet long, maybe, something like that. So it's convenient that I can use my computer to do the charge. It's really wonderful. Oh no, this last thing I tried to import, this video, it would not import. Yeah. The videos are kind of a little bit more important than the pictures, because most of the pictures I end up putting on Facebook, and that's a pretty good way to save things. But, you know, the thing is, I thought when this first started going, this laptop, I thought that would interrupt my channel, because I didn't know how long I would have something to film with. And then I said, why don't I go, just for the hell of it, look for really cheap stuff on Temu, because I like the stuff I've got in there. I don't mind the cheap skincare. It hasn't made my skin fall off. The clothes I got there, the makeup I got in there, I liked it all. I really love the pieces. Sometimes you get something you think is extra small and it's still a little big on you, but I've never seen something like you see those pictures, those joke pictures of people that they get something that, and they end up getting it, it's like, looks like maybe a 5-year-old child sewed it with one of their eyes, with an eye covering, you know, and I'm trying to be kind here. But I haven't had any, aside from something being maybe not as well made and maybe not as sturdily made, I haven't had any problems, you know. And I guess it's better to have something a little bit too big than so small that you can't even sit in it, you know. And that doesn't make you look good. You can always belt something in if it's too big. Or do what I did with this shirt. I want to show you what I did with this shirt. See? You can always pin things in the back. That's something they did on modeling shoots and stuff. And this shirt, I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep it, because I don't love this color. But it's interesting. You know. Oh, I think I may have busted this fan. This is a fan. Fits in the window. But we've had a number of rain incidents, and if the rain's going down, it's one thing, but if it's coming in this way, obviously electricity and rain are not a good combination. So I pulled the plug, and then I took that out, and then I tilted it in such a way that it would drip dry. Well, all I know is I tried to turn it on a couple days ago when it should have been well dry, and the thing wouldn't respond. So it kind of sucks, because it really did help to cool off the house. Right now I'm starting to get overheated in these long sleeves, but a lot of times what I would normally be wanting to wear, I end up, when I'm frying things because of the grease spattering thing, I've learned that really having long sleeves, and I mean I always wear leg protection because I like my thigh-high stockings, but they really, you never know where that piece of grease is going to be flying. You just never know. And I don't deep fry much as a rule, because I try to eat things that are healthy and things that are safe for someone with a heart issue and obesity issue. And yet there are certain things that it's really hard to cook other ways, and especially when I don't know if I want to spend the half hour or whatever it is to just wash a bunch of dishes. And the thing is that, like, I wash them one at a time and I dry them one at a time. I can't just let a bunch of things be drip and dry at one time, because I drip dry them in my mom's room in this one place, and I can only like lean 2 things at most up somewhere near her TV, for instance. So then I have to go do other things, and then when they dry, then I put them away, then I wash and let dry something else. So that's how I have to do my dishes. So it takes time. For the people that are used to using machines, that goes by real fast. The people who wash their laundry that way, that goes by real fast. Well, I do things one at a time and hang them on hangers in the kitchen so that nothing gets moldy. You know, let them drip on the tile. Sometimes I actually mop that then, because you're keeping things a little cleaner, you know. When they're not dripping anymore, and I mean they're much drier, then I transfer them to mom's room, and let the air dry them. And if it's her underwear, for instance, once that's totally dry, I fold it up and I put it in her closet. Her clothes, same thing. Anything needs to be hung up, there's space in her closet. And I know where the things go in the drawer, because, anything I'm not sure of, obviously, she'll tell me. But most of the stuff, a lot of it is my outfits. If say I had reason to do, well, if I end up doing 5 or 6 or 7 videos in one day, that's usually because I'm out in the field and some exciting things are going on, like with this hurricane stuff. But if I'm home and I'm batch recording, that's when I'm going to be going through different clothes changes. You can't change clothes when you're out in the field. All you can do is take a jacket off and put one on, Or if you happen to have something with you that it can give you a different look, If you're out, you're going to be out for a while and things keep on happening. Sure, you're going to want to document things, especially when there's a famous storm going on, and people were really curious to know what was going on besides what their news on TV and in the magazines was going to tell them, So I imagine if I'd gone over at the jetties where the fishermen were, that would have been really exciting. But that probably would have been cordoned off by the police, because can you imagine the walls of water coming up from there? That would knock people off there, and you would get some drownings for real. That would have been too dangerous. And I didn't go that far. I didn't go to any of the fishing spots, and I didn't try the bay to see what that was like. I went for what was easy first, so that I have the best chance of getting something cool, and I would still not have to worry about getting lost, and I'd get home in time to check on Mom and recharge the device and everything, Shore Boy Beanies. Shore Boy Beanies. Hi, how you doing? This is what I made for my mom. This phone's giving me fits now. It's telling me I can't make any more videos. It's all filled up. And I'm thinking, what the hell? I had it, a week now, right? It says check your settings. And I did. It said I used up 35 gigabytes of 256. I got plenty of room in there. But the camera thinks I'm used up. So, thank you. My mom is very happy with it. I made her coffee. And what it was, this thing, it's some Spanish thing made from white corn. Now, I can't remember what it is now. It's from Honduras. There's a company called Goya that made it. And this was left outside where some people drop off stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, new food I've never tried before. It's free. Let me take it home and try it. And I fried it up. And my mom said it tasted kind of like when you shred up potatoes and you fry them. Oily and potato-y, except it was made of corn. But I sliced some mushrooms and I sliced some onions to fry up the oil. And then I poured off most of the oil to fry those other things because, because my mom wanted to eat. I figured let me make a video about it. And it wouldn't let me make the video actually frying these things. It said there was no room, and the camera actually cut off in the middle of my talking and doing this thing. And I was really pissed off because I'm thinking, did I just talk to myself for nothing, go through all this and find out I don't even have a video? So I watched the footage I got, and it was like, started talking about this and put the thing on, but it turned it off before they got done. And I'm thinking, I still had some that I hadn't cooked all of them, because you can only fit so many in the bottom of a wok. If you know what woks are, they're narrow in the bottom. Yeah, clear out my storage. Well, that's just the last 2 weeks worth of videos I made, and I don't really want to do that. Hey, RX Files. Yeah, here, I don't want to get my hand on you. These do taste good. They need a little salt. Here's one with a mushroom on it. My mom says she's hungry. I cook for her. That's just the way it is. Well, I tried to make a video talking about making these things. Oh, they're Arepitas. Arepitas. They're made of white corn, and they're made in a country called Honduras. And Goya Oh, I love mushrooms too, and I heard they're going around, by the way. And I heard, speaking of, if you know, Washington D.C. legalized them. Maybe you can get them at the dispensaries, where I like certain green things. If you know, and I already inhaled some of that earlier today. I love it when things are legalized, don't you? But I don't know whether I have to go and get another phone, because see, this is supposed to have 256 gigabytes. This thing says that I only used up 35. So I have all this extra space. So, it's like I would like to maybe spend a bunch of time in Florida. I think I would love Key West. I've heard Tampa is really great. There's other places I heard are really good about. I'm afraid of alligators and I'm afraid of sinkholes, okay? And I don't want to be busted by cops for smoking weed. That's the thing is, I found some other laws I do like, and I like the lower taxes and a bunch of things, But I can't be saying I'm all about law and order when I want to be breaking some of the laws, I don't want to do that. And if I was going to go and finally get that used school bus and turn it out into an RV and go traveling, which is really what I thought that would be my way out of having to pay expensive housing costs that I can't pay. Right? My mom doesn't want to go traveling with me. She doesn't want to experience good health care. The state of California has much better health care than New Jersey, but she doesn't know that. Doesn't believe that anything good ever came out of California. She thinks California done me wrong. California didn't do me wrong. I made my own choices. I had a hell of a good time in California, honestly. I mean, yes, some bad things did happen to me that I don't think I deserve, but I think things happen to people in general. Fall in love with the wrong guy, they end up being a jerk. Oh, gee. My car got stolen by the person that I thought loved me. Oh, yeah, well, shit happens, Had to move across the country because I was scared of this psycho person, lunatic, so I had to get a ride on a Greyhound bus. Because sometimes 3,000 miles is not far enough to get away from people. And then 23 years later, they find you on Facebook and they send you an instant message saying, "Hi, remember me? My band's doing this, blah, 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 blah." Sending me old pictures of me and him. And I'm like, I screenshot it, sent it to my BFF. Then I deleted and blocked. Don't want to see it, don't care, hello. If I run away from you, it means I want nothing to do with you, hello. These people are so full of themselves and so obsessed that they think that people are going to forget that you abused them. No, I don't. See, this is why I really like animals more than people. Animals, the only way they break your heart is by dying. They're not intelligent enough to do evil things to you. They can't deliberately hurt you. Maybe they can bankrupt you financially with vet bills and stuff, but they can't really, you don't have to worry about them turning on you unless they get some kind of mental illness and they go psycho. Like a friend of mine had a dog. There was a singing dog. It was a love dog. I forget what kind it was. It was some kind of small, like an English terrier or something. I don't know. Cute little guy. But something happened to his brain. I think he got brain cancer. He became aggressive and he would latch out at people and try to bite people, and it just totally changed his temperament, and they had to put him down. And it's like, I am morally opposed to euthanasia. It's something that really, really bothers me. But in a case like that, where you have an animal that's being aggressive and hurting other people, and you live in a fancy little high-rise, and everybody knows each other, and it just, what a hell of a decision she had to make. And this was a friend of mine I ran into a couple nights ago on the boardwalk, these wonderful summer nights, and you just taking your time walking on the boardwalk, and you could hear the sound of the ocean, and the boardwalk feels good under your feet, and then all of a sudden you see somebody you hadn't seen maybe in years, and it's just so nice seeing how people are doing, how people are coping with their health challenges and the deaths of their spouses and the different things, and it's just good knowing that some people are okay. Yeah. And people, I'm glad, had not moved from these close by buildings, so I have a chance of seeing them when I'm out walking around. That's the thing, is I like being in certain areas that are just really convenient. Like, I love being around Tropicana because you can use their Wi-Fi, and there's nice people that live there and even work there. And even some of the nicest homeless people are around there and stuff. You know, that's where I used to play guitar. That was my favorite guitar spot till the cops did what they did. You know, I saw that guy playing guitar the other day, and you know what? I was a ladylike person. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't introduce myself. I didn't say one word. I just went home. I figured, you know what? Maybe in a couple of hours he's got to get a ticket anyway. Give him a chance to make him some coin. You know, I was lucky I had the run that I did. Now, I can't say that I'm not going to keep my mouth shut if I see him again, because then I'm going to be starting to think, look, I'm resentful. I have a musical instrument myself. I have a financial need, especially with all this tech breaking and stuff. I need to be able to start making some money again. And it's funny being out there, you know, with your hat down, and I'm just basically being paid to practice, you know. People aren't expecting a virtuoso, you're not expecting Steve Vai's sister, you know. But most people aren't really sticking around anyway. They're just on their way to a casino and they want to go and do whatever they want to eat or they want to play or whatever, you know. And I'm not impeding traffic. I'm not breaking anybody's pedestrian flow. I'm not in the way of the tram cars. You know, I'm not visibly begging. And that's the thing, is you have people that just stand outside a door of one of the casinos and they're standing there and they're doing that, just open the door because they're hoping they get money. And they're actually doing this and they're here all the time and the cops seem to let them get away with it. But yet, I was doing that thing with my guitar. It was not being amplified. There was no way for people to hear it unless they got close, so you can't say that I was creating a nuisance. If people were interested, they could come close. If they wanted to avoid me like the plague because they didn't want to feel pressure to giving money, they could stay away from me, just like I would always do. Whenever somebody played and they would stay near the railing and I would be on the other side of the boardwalk, I would respect their space, and that way if a person wanted to take pictures or video, they'd be able to do it without my getting, you know, photobombing it, you know. Kind of respect you have for other creators, other musicians, whatever. But when you see people that are doing what you were told you couldn't do, when every 10 minutes cops are driving down there, they got cars they drive on, they can do it slow or they can do it faster. They have bicycles, okay, and some of them are electrified, meaning they can go really fast, like 50 mile an hour or more. They also have different kind of buggies that go like the ATVs, I guess they call them, that they jump around the sand dunes, and they have the big tires, and there's like they seat 4 people, and you can bounce around on the beach. You can get real close to the water's edge, and you have these high-powered lights, and you can see if anybody's sleeping under the boardwalk, so you can ticket people for sleeping. Or if you catch some guy that feels he has no choice but to use the bathroom down there because security won't let him in the bathroom. And, you know, people don't just automatically stop needing to go to the bathroom just because they're not allowed in public restrooms. People still have needs. And if you have no choice but to get caught doing things out in public places and people get ticketed, and if you lose your ticket and forget when your court date is, then you have bench warrants, and then your fines increase. And then people end up doing a little bit of jail time, and then that's how you start criminal records, and that's what happens to most of these homeless people. You know, more you criminalize things. Down on the other hand, I kind of do understand the value of broken windows policing, that you want to get rid of the really serious things. But you don't want to violate people's civil liberties, and as a person who's been homeless, I understand how that is. I was very lucky that I didn't get caught like the sleeping thing when I was homeless. But the thing is, when I was homeless, I was doing speed, so I wasn't sleeping too much. And I was writing poetry, and I was walking around town, and I was doing everything seemed totally normal, except for, you know, I was on some rooftop sometimes working on my poetry or something. But I mean, if I was sleeping, that's what couch tours were for. But anyway, I walked away from chemicals 23 years ago, and all I do is smoke weed, you know. And I'm so glad that I have this forum, this YouTube thing. I just think it's really wonderful. But I'm going to have to contact my friend and ask him if he can take a look at this cell phone, find out why it's telling me I can't shoot anymore, when according to this I have plenty of room. No, I'm even thinking about the apps that are installed, and I'm thinking about the operating system. There's no way that could have everything used up. But my friend will tell me, in the meantime, I have this thing here. So if this means I need another phone like this so that when things like this are going on, I can still film outside, it's probably good to have a backup. And at prices like that, I should probably do it. But the thing is, I already wanted to get a couple more pairs of pot leaf socks. Because, I think it's important to have, I like to wear footless stockings. That way you can wear them with any socks you want. That way you can walk on the beach and it's easy to just rinse off your feet and rinse off your shoes. But if I get some more pot leaf socks, then I have more socks that I can be representing and let everybody know that I smoke weed, so that there's people to walk around wanting to give weed to people. And I'm thinking, hey, if you knew how expensive it was in the dispensaries and everything, I think I was deserving. I give so much of my time as my mother's caregiver and stuff, and doing all these things, and trying to do the best with my responsibilities and still have a life and still have a channel. But I'm always going to want to have something to create content, so I'm probably going to get another one of these things. So, you know what? I think I'm actually going to finally close this. It's been going on for 2 hours, 51 minutes, and 58 seconds. Oh, 2 hours, 51 minutes, 24 seconds, and it's counting. I think I'm going to go and do some cleaning up around here and see if my mom needs me. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. This was, again, I only did this because I was trying to make a cooking video and this started messing up. So from now on, I'm going to be having to make my standalone videos right here in my home studio until I get another thing. I can't believe this is filled up already. It just doesn't seem possible. I'll have to have my friends sort it. So, thanks for tuning in.